Billy V is on assignment, but we still have your entertainment news. Today marks 15 years since the Fukushima disaster in Japan. A new documentary takes a look at what happened.
One of the biggest earthquakes ever recorded has hit Japan. It triggered a tsunami, washing away everything in its path.
The disaster caused a near-total meltdown of Japan's Fukushima nuclear power plant. The film Fukushima, A Nuclear Nightmare chronicles the worst nuclear accident since Chernobyl. The documentary is now streaming on HBO Max. When he said, "I'll be back," he meant it. Arnold Schwarzenegger says he may be returning to the screen in some of his most iconic roles. Speaking at the Arnold Sports Festival, Schwarzenegger said he's in talks to reprise characters from Conan the Barbarian, Predator, and Commando. Tickets are now available to Circus Lolo, a comedy performance parodying the circus on Maui. There are 4 performances at 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. on April 3rd and 4th. Tickets are $12.50 for adults and only $2.50 for keiki. Tickets can be found on circuslolo.com. Every ticket sold contributes to the nonprofit's mission to provide free experiences across the island. That's your entertainment news. Casey, back to you.
And Giovanni, thank you.